All right, guys, got another video here for you. This one I thought about making the other day, but I was really tired. I've had a really long week at work, but I was listening once again to TFM, Turd Flinging Monkeys show on Odyssey. And I've said in the past, like I pretty much disagree with like most of the things this guy says, but he is like really fun to listen to, and he seems like a cool guy. And this is one issue with the red pill that I've always found interesting, and that is the concept of waifus. And so what got me thinking about this video initially was when Elon Musk announced that he was going to, I don't even know what it's called, like Grok-4 or Grok-5, was going to be this like anime blonde girl with pigtails and lingerie on. And you're going to be able to like basically talk to it, and it would like flirt with you, and you could like get it to I guess you can get it to take its clothes off or something like that. And yeah, this video, I wanted to make a video about waifus in general a while ago, but I didn't really know how to talk about it because I talk about women a lot on this channel, you know, the ravages of modern feminism, and I kind of tiptoe around the solution because it's not YouTube friendly. But I've basically said as much, that women have to be essentially stripped of power. That's the only way to solve this. But I've also kind of explained that men and women are in a very awkward situation right now, generationally, as well as just spiritually, mentally, like all the things, because of what feminism has done, right? In past generations, this was when it was begun, and it would have been a lot easier to fix. But now we have generations of men and women that have been born into this paradigm, this dialectic, right? So I talk a lot about breaking the dialectic, right? And I think the only way to do that is through God. That's essentially the meaning of the Trinity, metaphysically. But also the importance of breaking the dialectic is that you break this illusion of choice that they give you, right? And that's basically what they want from you. They want you to think that you only have two options, and that's always been the case. And so the what's wrong with men and women right now is we're in this awkward situation where, like, men know deep down that they want women, right? And this is kind of what TFM was talking about. What made me want to make this video is he just kind of worded it in a way that resonated with me. But the ultimate goal is to strip women of power, right? And for men to regain power, restore the natural order, right? Of my ideal, this would not be his, but my ideal is, God, man, woman, child. But the key is the man is before the woman. So if you want to restore this inverted order, and we literally are actually at that point now where it's kind of basically is like woman, child are at the top now, and then man is like below, and then God is just completely out of the equation. So it quite literally has been inverted, the cycle. And so the problem is that men are confused, right? So men want to have sex, basically. Like, shocker, it's one of the big things that motivates men to do anything, right? We want beautiful women, we want to have sex, we want to have children, we want to have a legacy, a family. We basically want a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And for pretty much all of mankind, that reason was a woman, and specifically a family, a wife, something that you worked to provide for. Essentially, that's what man is programmed to do. And so men aren't getting this right now, and so women their number one goal is to have children, right? And again, I don't give a damn if this like pisses people off. Like, I just don't care. I'm saying it as it is. If you guys don't like it, you can unsubscribe. But if you do like it, subscribe to the channel. I'm kind of stuck at that 800 subscriber thing right now. So it's like really annoying. Getting to 1,000 I might just have to start a brand new channel. I've been thinking about that. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. But it might be good to just start a completely fresh channel and try to grow from there without all the baggage. I mean, I love this Jigsaw channel, but you know, I've commented on videos. I've had this channel for so long. It's like having an old email. Like the inbox is completely full. But that's beside the point. The women basically, their number one goal is to have children and to start a family with said man. And that is completely inverted as well. Women, I've already ranted about this in a past video, but women are encouraged to do everything else except that. So it's put men and women in this awkward situation. But right now, women have all the levers of power because women can basically just work, and then, you know, they've got agency now, right? I use that with quotations because they really don't. Like, the modern woman follows the same arc, and I've seen it time and time again where, you know, they're really hot when they're young, they're getting a lot of attention, and then they don't settle down, and then by the time they're in their late 30s, 40s, they have gone completely insane. And that's actually literally what modern feminism does to women. It doesn't quite do it to men. The worst thing that happens to men is like the ultra soy, like beta men. They basically troon out. They go that route, right? Well, you know, the LGBT route, we'll say. But that's like the worst thing that happens to men, and usually that doesn't happen, or the guy becomes gay or something. I don't know, but I still think those are like, that's a small percentage of guys compared to what happens to women. What happens to women is they just absolutely go insane, and there's like all sorts of things that happen when they go insane. It's very, very, but the common theme is the women go like absolutely insane. They become just like ultra narcissistic, and then they become, it's almost like, I don't know, you couldn't have planned a more perfect decline than feminism, because coinciding with modern women going insane is also when they get older, and then they become like a stable voting bloc for like leftist policy. So it's like a perfectly designed from hell scheme that has come up. So yeah, that's kind of the backdrop of this video, is that men and women are really confused, but the key here is that women have more power than men right now in the modern world. Just by mostly men's choices, and particularly it's because of the simps, right? Or you could say the simp army. That's what I'm going to call them in this video. And that's basically what I'm going to title this, something about simps and Grok AI. Because again, TFM was making a good point. The problem with men right now, and why men are allowing women to just get away with all of this insanity, is that the men are, there's too many simps. And when I say simp, I mean it more in a way of like, there's too many men that are like, they're like trying to get female approval, right? Like part of growing up, and I don't know, it took me a little while to get this, but I've always kind of been this way. But part of maturing as a man is that you really just stop giving a shit what women think, right? If you're married, obviously you should care what your wife thinks to an extent, but part of growing as a man is you need to recognize that women are basically predictably irrational, like by design. You know, studying God will also help this, like the Bible, but women aren't really meant to make sense. That's kind of the point, because like men are logical and women are emotional, so it's supposed to be a balance. But the problem is now we're in a world where we think, again, with equality and all that bullshit that they talk about, they're trying to tell you that women and men are like equally logical and equally emotional. And so this is where like the simp becomes a thing, is because the simp thinks logically, right? This is like where pickup artistry and all of the red pill stuff comes from that I don't like, right? And as much as I shit on the red pill, it is still very good for analyzing these things. I actually, in my book video, if you guys watch that, I did shout out The Rational Male. I think that's a very good book that every man should read, just so you can understand intersexual dynamics and you can kind of understand what I'm talking about here. But yeah, we live in a world where the simp is created now because they think logically, like, oh, if I just like pander to a woman and like get her to like me or whatever, then I'll get my pee-pee touched, right? I'll get sex. But they don't realize that actually repulses women. The true paradox of women is that what I'm saying right now, a lot of people would be like, oh, he's being a misogynist, he's being a sexist. But that's actually what women like. They actually like when men tell them to shut up and tell them to, I shouldn't say it that way, not tell them to shut up, but like, they basically like it when men just kind of like take over, just take charge, be like, yeah, I'm running this operation. You can follow me on this journey or you cannot. But ultimately, I'm the captain of this ship and you are like my passenger, right? Women love that. And I've always understood it. Like I've just kind of chosen not to deal with women for most of my life because, like what I said, they're insane, and I just don't like dealing with modern women. I'm an old soul, right? I would have been so much better in my grandparents' age. But again, women have always been this way. It's just that women never had like a fraction of the power. So you could kind of just blow it off. It was like you knew that women were women, but you didn't have to like treat it seriously because they weren't voting your society into the freaking gutter, right? You didn't have to convince them of anything. You just had to create a nice home for them and call it good. And that's the true irony of feminism too, and all this simpery, is that it was all created by men that were just trying to make women's lives easier. So by making women's lives easier, we just basically allowed them to take over and ruin society in large. So yeah, so that's basically the backdrop. We're 10 minutes in here, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, all that jazz, right? If you are enjoying this content, I'd appreciate that support. Try to grow to 1,000 if I can get there, God willing. But yeah, so what's happened now is Elon Musk with Grok, right? So the backdrop of it is Grok went like super fascist before, and it was like talking about the Jews, and it was noticing, we'll just say that. And so Elon Musk like overcorrected it, and he basically, I don't know what's going on. There's like so much political theater going on, but essentially what he did with Grok is he just made it a waifu, essentially. He made it like, if you've seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, or Blade Runner 2049, I talk about Blade Runner quite a bit because I think that's our future. We're now entering that area where they're going to start presenting artificial, holographic, possibly girlfriends, right? Because women are going to continue to get worse as things go on, because the problem with taking women's power away completely is that I don't think we have the men for that right now, right? We have a masculinity crisis, and I don't mean that in like the cringe Ben Shapiro way. I mean that in like, I think men are just incapable of doing what their forefathers did because of how cucked and simped they've become. And so the real way to like take women's power away is to give men an alternative option, right? And I'm not even advocating for this because, again, I look at it from a Christian view. To me, this is like, this is the path to Antichrist, but it has to happen anyway. That's the beauty of a Christian outlook. And this isn't even Zionist. It's just that the end is going to come, right? Like the end of this, whatever this is, will come eventually. So you just kind of have to predict how it's going to happen. So because feminism set in motion this certain chain of events that is now, on a train track colliding into whatever hell we're colliding into, right? The only way to fix it would be to men to just take women's rights away and say no to them, essentially, take their power away. But the men aren't capable of doing that. I hope you guys catch what I'm saying, right? There's not enough of us. There's not a will to do it for most men. Most men are like gooning. They're soy men, right? A lot of men are like, they don't even know if they're gay or straight because they're so, the Zoomers especially, like the Zoomers, they're a mess. I say that with all sympathy, but they are a complete mess. So it's not going to come from the Zoomers, I don't think. And it's not going to come from Gen X or millennials, because the millennials especially, we are like proto-boomers. So again, I'm saying all this to say basically the way around this is you have to give a man another option outside of just a traditional woman. And right, it's got to be something more than like pornography as well. It has to be something that a man can like feel like he can create a life around. And I know, just follow me with what I'm saying, but basically if you give a man like a fake wife, a waifu, you know, and this could be like a robot in the future. Again, if you guys have seen Blade Runner 2049, it's something like that. If you give a man, here's a better way to put it. If you're a man, you understand what I'm saying. Men need a muse. They need something beautiful that they have in their brain that they can like think about and aspire to every day. And again, that is a woman. The woman is the muse of man. It's the reason anything in the world gets done. But now modern women are like disgusting for the most part. So it's actually demotivating for a lot of men to think about modern women, right? Like, why am I working for this woman who doesn't give a shit about me? She doesn't care about kids that she had. You know, she's got 50 tattoos. She's got blue hair. She's fat. She's got freaking nose face rings. You know, this is what I mean. So a man wants like a traditional Marilyn Monroe or, you know, Jessica Alba. These are what I've said. This is like my ideal woman. Every man has his ideal woman. And that can be achieved with this waifu thing, right? This is what I think is going to happen is now that Elon is kind of cornering the market on this, he's going to be able to contain the simps. And what really clicked to me here is I was like, he talked about starting a new party, an America party. And I laughed at it at first, but I'm thinking more like, okay, if he can actually tap into the simps, right? If you can make the simps content with their life to the point where they're like guys like me or, you know, guys that have no problem with women, you can basically create a class of men that don't give a shit. And then that's the moment, guys. That's the moment when feminism dies, essentially. Now, again, it doesn't mean our problems are solved, because I would prefer the Christian method of like just raising women biblically, but I don't think that's going to happen en masse. But it can still happen in the political spectrum. This can still happen where if they give men this second option, right, and this is also like artificial wombs could become a thing. We could literally create a whole new species with this, which it's wild to think about. Probably won't happen in my lifetime, but like in the next 100 years, if this whole woman thing doesn't get solved, which it probably won't in this generation, and if Gen Alpha will be the key in like 10, 15 years, if it just continues to get worse, which is highly probable, then yeah, they're going to just start turning to technology to solve the crisis. Elon Musk has talked about the fertility crisis, all these things, right? But Elon Musk is also a transhumanist, as is a lot of these people. And I'm just kind of trying to be as value-free in this video as I can, because you guys already know my opinions on this if you've watched my other videos. I don't agree with any of this, for any of you wondering. I don't like transhumanism. I just wish we could live in a normal world, but it's not the hand we were dealt. So this is what I was thinking about, is essentially, I've always thought the simps were the problem. Like, as much as I bitch about women, again, I understand women are only allotted the power men allot them, because feminism is a luxury ideology. I've always said that. But the problem is that you've got the simps now, and they're just so beta and soy, and they're ruled by women. They don't know how to be men, essentially. They don't even know how to say no to a woman, which is wild to me, because it's like, I've had a couple girls in my life that I kind of fell head over heels over, but I've never been to that point where I just like worship the ground a woman walks on. I've never understood any man doing that. And it's mostly because I've just kind of, well, one, you know, I did have a pretty significant pornography problem when I was younger, but at the same time, I always just looked around at a lot of these women, and I was like, you know, a lot of them just they're just not worth it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not trying to like prop myself up, right? Because again, men have their own problems, but that's just the mentality I'm trying to get across to you guys. Like, the mentality that if you want to like really excel when it comes to the woman thing. You just have to literally not give a shit is the best way to explain it. You just have to not care. In fact, some of the best relations I've ever had with women is when I just like didn't care, and then they just kind of like come to you. That's what I mean. Like, men and women are just, through just sheer nature, despite all the propaganda, they, like, men and women will just kind of find each other anyway. But the simps don't understand this, and a lot of them are like autistic and retarded now. You know, that's another thing with the birthing crisis, is that women are having children so late in life now that there's going to be like a serious retardation, autism, whatever ism crisis going forward. These men are just not going to be intelligent enough to solve their problem. And every man has this problem at some point. And that is, I need sex. How do I get sex? And so I think, yeah, again, I think that this AI waifu thing could solve a lot of that. Now, is it going to be really disgusting? Yes. Is it going to further this, PDF file discussion, LGBT? Yes, it's going to be really bad, guys. A lot of these could be just, this is opening a door that is, again, I think this is why the LGBT thing was pushed in the first place, is they were trying to open the door to this. But I'm just kind of trying to make this video to let you guys know that this is likely going to happen whether we like it or not. And so I'm thinking of it in that way. And yeah, I'm thinking of it in that way. Sorry, I need to edit that out because I touched the camera there. Don't think you guys want to see my palm. But yeah, I'm thinking of it like that, basically, is that to kind of end this video here, keep it a nice 25-ish minutes. The simps are going to need to be contained, and I think Elon understands this. Another thing too is, the multicultural problem is not going away, so you're going to get a lot more brown children. I made a review of the new Jurassic Park Rebirth movie. In that movie, there's like this family that are brown, and like you can kind of see the future. You're going to get these like weird brown looking people that are like white, just because the interracial breeding is like beyond, it's like beyond reproach at this point. There's no reversing it. So if white people truly do go away, it's going to be like, we're just going to turn into like a shade of brown, like light brown, but they're going to like look black. So, because this is how women are selecting. This is what I mean. The real thing to take away from this is that the women are not really going to get better. I don't think they are. Outside of Christian communities, the world's just going to continue to get worse and worse with this. And the women are probably just going to get even more insane, even more fat, even more loud. And the only way to do it is, the only way to solve this is you have to find a way to control the simps. You have to find a way to give the simps another option. And that is through a waifu, essentially, like who knows, it could be like a sex robot one day. I don't know. But it's the only way outside of God. And again, the world doesn't recognize God. A lot of you watching this video, you probably laugh at me when I bring up God. So again, that you're proving my point here, is that the AI waifu is what society is going to want. They are basically asking for it right now. Elon Musk is filling that market need. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen, guys. The simps are going to be contained and weaponized. And you guys think MAGA was nuts. This could be way crazier, because you have generations now, at least 2 generations now, of men that have literally been sex deprived. And women, psychologists, all these, the media, I don't think they fully understand what this does to a man when a man just is that low and that worthless mentally. This drives to a lot more than just depression and suicide. This hints to, like, when men have no options, that's when like real stuff starts getting done. But again, we still do live in a masculinity crisis. So the key to it is they're going to solve the simps' sexual problem. Once that is solved, they can start thinking again. And once men start thinking again and talking to each other again, that's when all bets are off the table, right? I'm not advocating for anything here, YouTube, so calm down. Calm the hell down. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. You guys understand the point of this message. So just a fun little thought video here on this Friday afternoon before my vacation. Finally, I can sleep in for like 2 days. And yeah, probably will release a couple more videos for you this week. I'm still trying to do the 5 a week, but we'll see how that continues. Like I said, I'm not getting the viewership that I want, so I would really appreciate the people that actually do watch this content. Please share the videos, like the videos, comment down below. I'm going to do another poll as well and ask you guys what time you would like to see the videos, because maybe the 4 p.m. Mountain Time isn't working for you guys. That's completely fine. I can schedule the videos out earlier or later. So I'm going to make that poll shortly. Hope you guys vote on it and let me know what you guys are more interested in for that time slot. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you on the next one.